Why did I dump Apple Music to go back to Spotify? All right, it's me, Russ. Welcome to the channel.
Yeah!
Driving through Seattle on my way to another job. And I have a little time in between gigs once again today. This is the view from the park I'm at right now, which is a touristy place. A lot of tourist types like to stop at. And me too, why not? See if I can fit in here.
Few moments later.
It's Cary Park, it says right there. There we go. Nice. Elliott Bay. All right. I headed to a different park because there's just too much noise over there. Cary Park. I'm on my way to Magnolia for the next task, which isn't for another half hour, 20 minutes, half hour, something like that. Here's one that's much quieter. Weed a view. Look at that. Got a little bit of water here, cruise ships, stuff like that. There we go. It's just right up the hill towards Magnolia. That's right. Just enjoyed my sack lunch. Stop stalling, Russ. Tell the people why you went back to this big, horrible corporation. Spotify. $82 billion market cap. The stock for Spotify now is like $400 a share. Spotify, in my opinion, could be paying independent artists a lot more than it does. All right, so I want to put that out there first and foremost. I was on Spotify since it started, to be honest. All right, now I quit Spotify and I made a video about that back in January. If you don't make enough money to get past the minimum threshold, they give that money to like Taylor Swift and Drake, which I thought was just incredibly unfair. A lot of people freaked out. A lot of people quit. A lot of artists stopped on Spotify. A few of them went back. I have friends who are artists who are on Spotify, you know, and I have friends who stuck with Spotify but limited, you know, and they still do. They limit their catalog to, you know, a few things. The whole discography is not on there, stuff like that. Now, this is for indie artists, right? Like, you know, I watched some videos by some other artists too, comparing Spotify and Apple and how much more money they made on Apple, which still wasn't a lot, you know? The difference between Apple and Spotify is that you have to pay for Apple's service. Spotify's free and runs on ads, much like YouTube. And as a monetized YouTuber, I know a little bit about that because I make money on these videos, and I have to file it on my taxes now. I make a couple $100 every month on YouTube. Tidal is another one that's out there. They pay a penny a song. It's a lot. It doesn't seem like a lot, you know. Even me, the YouTube videos, it was like automotive content pays a little better, so that's where I get most of the income from. But you know, it's like a penny every 3 views or something like that. So it's got to be a lot of views before you're making any money whatsoever. And that's just kind of how it is, I suppose. When you're out there, you want to try and make money off your art. I don't know, man. As part of it is, why did I go back to Spotify? My choice to stay with Spotify, move back to Spotify, is more to do with, you know, the Bandcamp kind of feel that Spotify seems to be more after. All right. Yes, does Spotify pay less than Apple Music and of course Tidal and, you know, YouTube and some of these others? Apple pays better than YouTube. YouTube is another streaming service for music. All right, you want to hear a song, you can look it up on YouTube. You can maybe even read the lyrics, and some creative person did a lyrics video. And the artist gets that monetization, right? They get that little piece, that little third of a cent or whatever it is what I get. Spotify helps me when I'm listening to Spotify, or when I'm paying attention to Spotify. The bands that I'm listening to on the platform, they will send me notifications when they're in town or when they're coming to town, which I enjoy. The biggest one, my regret, I wish I would have went to see, but we just didn't have the money. Every time we go to a show, it's, we're spending at least a couple $100, it seems like, right? And the tickets for this weren't that bad. I think it was like $35, $40. It was a punk band that I enjoy so much. The Teenage Bottle Rocket was in town, and they played the Crocodile, or downstairs from the Crocodile. I forget what it's called. It's a separate venue, but it's the same, right? Madam something. My point is, I wouldn't know about a lot of these shows if it weren't for Spotify. Reverend Horton Heat is coming back to town. I keep seeing that. If I, Reverend Horton Heat song comes up, and I'm reminded of that. I've bought merch on Spotify. I tried to buy vinyl once. There's a Måneskin had signed records. Band signed the record, Russ. You could buy it right here on Spotify. So Spotify linked to a third-party thing. I get the record, and there's no band signatures on it, and I'm like, hey, what the heck? What's going on? And they gave me my money back, and they let me keep the record. So shared pictures and stuff. I bought another one, so I have two now. I have a white one and a black one of Rush. Now there's a deluxe version of Rush. I have to get that too, I suppose. With Merch Bar, I think it's Merch Bar. I've never been too happy with Merch Bar. That's just my personal experience with Merch Bar. I don't know if any of you guys out there have ever done Merch Bar or bought anything off Merch Bar, but it just seems cumbersome, more expensive, and shipping is like, oh, that's a good deal. What? Shipping is $32. Here, buy this record. It's only, $7. $10. Okay. But the shipping is $74.95. That's not a great deal. I'm exaggerating, okay? That didn't happen, in case you're wondering. But, so yeah, Merch Bar and Spotify. With these freaking corporations, everything's about money, right? So just go to Bandcamp. If I'm going to buy records, or, you can go to some of the record labels. My friend Sean does that. He buys records from the labels, and that's, these indie labels and stuff. Sub Pop here in Seattle, a lot of people buy records from Sub Pop still. And Mark Arm, right? He's from Mudhoney. Still works there, as far as I know, right? They go grab your record and put it in a box, which is pretty cool. But I don't know. But that's how this stuff works. They're working the bugs out, and I guess for as shitty as Spotify is, at least they're doing that, right? At least they're trying to get fans connected with the bands and helping the bands make money off merch and touring. Because, we can hate on streaming services, but the truth is that we're here technologically, and it's good for people who don't have a lot of money to listen to the music that they want to enjoy, right? If you want to listen to a band, I mean, we've got to the point where physical media is a fun, collectible thing. It sounds better, it sounds way better to buy a CD than, just a record. Of course, excuse me, a little gastro thing going on. So I'm drinking my fizzy water. So that's another reason I'm on Spotify. And I just like the layout better. I like the way the playlists. I've been adding playlists to Spotify for over a decade. Okay, however long Spotify first launched in here in the Seattle area in the U.S. or whatever. That's how long I've been on it. So all of the playlists and things that I've created yeah, it's hard to go on Apple and reduplicate that. I just don't like Apple's. I would have done it. Sure, I would have done it. And I did start building some playlists on Apple, but I just don't like, Apple doesn't do any of that. Apple doesn't tell me when a band's got a show in town. Apple doesn't tell me anything except for, hey, this new release happened or stuff like that. I quit doing Apple Music back in June. I think I had 3 months for free. I paid for another month, and I just don't like it. I don't want to pay any more money for something I'm not real fired up about. So that's it. I'm pulled over here in the rain now. So I got cassette tapes. That's what I got going on here. And got a whole bunch of, right? Got Damn Yankees, good old Bob Geldof. I found that one at a little record store down the street. $3. There's a Foo Fighters I made for a mixtape there. There's Van Halen, a few more in here. So I still enjoy me some physical media, of course. There's a band called the Hex Tales, which is an awesome punk band from Canada, and I wish I would have recorded their stuff on a cassette tape when it was out. I bought the record, by the way. I put a record on here so I could listen to it here in the car. But yes, you can record from Spotify to a cassette tape. Sounds like stealing, Russ. It's like copyright infringement. Again, do the bands care? All right, they're getting very few fractions of a cent on Spotify. Back to the Hex Tales. The Hex Tales are a band from Canada who are, for whatever reason, are just gone. Their Bandcamp closed down. They don't have, they're not on Spotify or Apple, or I couldn't find them on any streaming service. Such an amazing album, punk record, and I love it so much. But there's no way I could find it on physical media around here, and now it's gone. Right? So I wish I could have, I wish I would have went to their Bandcamp, woulda, coulda, shoulda, while it was still functional. And I think I did. I don't see any merch like that. Sometimes at shows around here too, I've noticed that they're not selling CDs at shows anymore. They're, they got a QR code, listen to our music, and they're selling like shirts and hats and stickers and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, a lot of bands aren't doing it as much, unless they are up there a bit. They're not doing merch. Some of them are doing records, which is cool, vinyl records, but not a lot. A band like Black Flag, right? We see that saw them at Crocodile, and they were selling. But Black Flag's Black Flag, right? Like they've got a more straight cred. Thanks for watching. That's why I'm back on Spotify and not on Apple Music.